Hello everyone and welcome to Helix Cloud Games. My name is Richie and this is CloudQuest, a cloud gaming show where we take a deep dive into one particular topic. This week we're talking about, is the cloud gaming industry finally ready to explode into the mainstream? And joining me on this quest is none other than Mr. Chris.
I'm ready for it. Let's go.
But before we get into it, make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already and hit that bell icon for notifications when all of our great shows go live, such as the Sounds of Stadia podcast every single Monday on YouTube and podcast services, our Thursday night live streams, which should be returning in actual consistent fashion. I know we've been pretty rubbish recently about our consistency, but life gets in the way. Life gets in the way. So, Chris, cloud gaming, it's going quite well recently. Yeah, it's starting to. It feels like they're starting to get quite a bit of momentum behind it.
It does. Like we've been covering it for. Like I knew we both knew about cloud gaming, but being just like traditional gamers, we've had a PlayStation, we've got a Switch, we do a little bit on PC. But until we really embrace content creation and making stuff for Stadia,
yeah,
it really has opened my eyes in the last 2 and a bit years to how all of the big players have been slowly moving chess pieces behind the scenes to embrace what the next gen future of gaming looks like beyond the limitations of a box under your television or in your living room. And obviously Stadia's done a bit of that, Amazon Luna's done a bit of that, Microsoft are, and then slowly but surely, we're starting to see the game evolve. So all these chess pieces, they're actually starting to take other pieces off the board almost. The game's really afoot now with it. And there's a lot of news that's came out this past week around Summer Games Fest and just the companies in general that are really about, I think, to kickstart the next piece of the race, really.
Yeah, I mean, Stadia wasn't the first cloud gaming platform. I think that might have been on Live, or there might have been even stuff before that I'm not aware of. But I always feel like Stadia was the one that kind of opened the doors to the industry as a whole for cloud gaming. I think that might be ultimately be Stadia's legacy. Is not necessarily. I don't think it's. I'm not optimistic we'll ever consider Stadia alongside Microsoft and Sony. But I think Stadia's presence in the gaming industry has changed the industry in a big way. I don't think you'd see like Microsoft pushing as hard into cloud gaming as they are if it wasn't for Google and later Amazon sniffing around. In fact, Phil Spencer basically said as much.
Yeah, well, the famous quote from Phil Spencer many, many years ago now was, "Our competitors are not Sony and Nintendo. It's in fact in the realm of Google and Amazon and huge companies that deal in cloud infrastructure." And which is why you're totally right. Yeah, Stadia was one of the trailblazers, as they say, but just because you're the first to market doesn't always mean you are going to be the best. If you just have to look at the streaming industry for television, the music industry, thing like Spotify wasn't always the go-to default number one. There was thousands of companies that tried to get on that game, and they've all slowly but surely whittled away until you've got your front runner. Look at like Just Eat and stuff. If you go to different countries, different markets, there's millions and millions of food eating apps, and yet we all use Just Eat, we all use Uber, we all use Netflix. It's kind of like, it's interesting how it goes over time. But yeah, I feel like everyone's just cranked it up another gear in terms of cloud gaming, and we're still in such its infancy. But gaming's never going away. It's only going to get better.
I've been saying for like 2 years at this point that I believe Microsoft see a future where the Xbox isn't a thing that sits underneath your television, and that xCloud will be, this is Xbox, this is how you interact with it. And every move they've been making is making me feel more and more confident about that. Like, most recently, on June, this is coming from The Verge on the 9th of June, so very recent, Xbox Cloud Gaming will support your game library later this year. Microsoft is planning to bring a lot more games to Xbox Cloud Gaming later this year, allowing Game Pass Ultimate subscribers to stream some of their own game library. So, games that you already have purchased on the Xbox platform, you'll now be able to play cloud versions of them.
Yeah.
I don't know whether this will include disc versions or digital-only versions yet. That remains to be seen, but that means that, yeah, it's not a case of, you can only play game. It's no longer you can only play Game Pass stuff on xCloud.
Yeah. It, ironically enough, brings it closer to Stadia in terms of their format. Like, if you bought a game on Microsoft, you can just play it a la carte, but if you also have the subscription model, you get games to play as part of this, like, 100-plus game title library. It's the best of both worlds. So Microsoft has kind of done it in another way, where Stadia launched with that, and Microsoft have kind of held off with the rollout, and now they're obviously in a comfortable position where they're saying, no, Game Pass is by far the best way. You pay one monthly fee, you have the streaming capability, you play those games. But now, if you bought these games a la carte, you can play them as well. I know there's a few caveats that said all games may not be compatible. They've said select games only. Yeah. But the way Microsoft have embraced like backwards compatibility and things, it's build up to it. But we said for some time, like, Game Pass is undeniably one of the best value things in gaming ever. But now it's also expanding that a little bit more. And Microsoft, I think, all things said and done between like Luna, Stadia, PlayStation Plus / Now, they're definitely in the best position on all fronts, I think, to embrace cloud gaming. They really, really are.
I think it's also, I think this is such an important development for xCloud in general. It's when you think that one of the potential downsides of Game Pass is games don't necessarily stay on there forever. So you could be playing a game, and then suddenly you find out you've got 1 week to finish that game. No, it's not the end of the world. I mean, you've just, it's part of your Game Pass subscription, so you haven't dropped money specifically on that game. You could just go buy the game and then continue. But now this will allow you to go buy the game and continue, even if you are a cloud gamer. Yeah,
because you own it. It's just yours.
Yeah. Where I think at the moment, if you're a cloud gamer, you're playing on Game Pass, the game goes off Game Pass, you buy the game, you can no longer play it in the cloud. Where this will mean I think it's a huge switch for cloud gaming in terms of Microsoft.
Alleviates that kind of concern that if you just want to buy it and own it and play it, great. On any device, great. Tick, done. It's another positive move. And another positive. Yeah, sorry.
No, go on. I'll let you go first.
I think I was going to say the same thing you are, that in terms of the subscriber base for cloud gaming, so not only are Microsoft making these big moves, but just the industry in general, year on year, is seeing a growth across all platforms.
Yes. Well, the one I was actually going to bring up was Microsoft are also stealing Google's idea and making Xbox Cloud native to Samsung TVs.
Oh.
This is from their Xbox blog, straight from their website. Xbox gaming on your Samsung Smart TV, no console required, is the headline. Pretty
explicit then in what they're doing.
I could read quotes from the article, but it's basically what you expect. You will be able to get an Xbox app on your Smart TV going forward. So it will be powered by the cloud. So you know how we've always said like having Stadia native on TVs is great, where you can just pick up your Stadia controller. Oh, there it is. This thing. You can even, through like smart TVs, you could even advertise games. We talked a bit like how Disney could use that through immersive stream through Disney Plus. I could see you switching on, and you could quite simply be sat there, you looking at, look at this nice new shiny Samsung TV I've just bought. Oh, it came bundled with an Xbox controller. You turn on, and there's, I don't know, Elder Scrolls 6.
Yeah.
Just an advert. You click on that and go, if I activate Game Pass, I can just play this game now.
Yeah. Well, this is one of the things that, when it comes to having a physical presence, like we can go into our brick and mortar stores, and there's physically PlayStation marketing out there, there's Xbox marketing, Nintendo marketing, and we've said like Stadia really lacks that physical presence, and as does Luna and all the other cloud gaming ones. But when you go in to buy a smart TV, anyone who's done one in the last few years will know that they always try and push that next thing. It was like 4K, it was 1080p for the longest time, and it was HD, then 4K. And you need to think what that next big thing is. That there's talk of 8K, but realistically they're still working on getting everyone a 4K smart TV. And over the last few years, we've seen a boon in smart apps, so you can get all your on-demand, or Netflix app built in. Your remote control has a Disney Plus button. All those like little things to make access easier. And when Stadia went on to like the likes of the LG TVs and stuff, all my TVs in the house have it booted up now, so no need for the Chromecast. It's a fantastic way of free marketing. The difference is Xbox brings that brand awareness to it. If you see a TV boxed up, ready to go, or a TV on a showroom floor, and they put, put the little stickers that go on the bottom corner of the TV to say like 4K, Dolby Atmos, surround sound, whatever it may be.
Supports Xbox Cloud Gaming.
Supports Xbox Gaming. That is the thing for parents, people looking, gamers, children, anything looking out there. It's that immediate, I know what that means. This TV comes with, and then you ask the guy or the girl in the showroom and they say, oh, it means you can play Minecraft, Halo Infinite, Gears of War, Sea of Thieves without the console. And they go, Mum and Dad, we don't have money to buy a Series X right now. But we already have Game Pass playing on the old Xbox One. So and then the person in the shop does their job, right? Oh, well, if you already have Game Pass, it just means you can play on this TV without the Xbox. What? Like that's sold. It's such an easy decision without buying a £500 console.
And we know the dongle's coming that will support on non-native TVs.
Yeah.
Keystone
is a thing. They've said it.
The key thing here is it's normalising cloud gaming.
Mm-hmm.
In a way, I think Stadia have been trying to do, but I think Microsoft have got a bit... The legacy of Microsoft, and with the service of Game Pass, I think this could really be... This is why, the title of this episode is Cloud Gaming Primed to Explode. I think it really is. When these moves finally come to fruition, people who have been dismissive of cloud gaming in the past, or not interested, or have never tried it, don't really know much about it, because it's a very niche thing in the gaming industry. So if you're not like idiots like us who spend a lot of time like talking about games and development and all that sort of stuff, most people aren't involved in the gaming industry to the level we are. You might just go, you'll start normalising it to these people and it's going, well, yeah, I'll just get Game Pass. I pay a subscription like I do for like Netflix or Amazon Prime or Disney Plus. I pay the subscription and then I get all these games.
Yeah, completely.
I don't have to buy a box. I have to buy a controller. Maybe it works with a controller I've already got lying around.
Yeah, exactly. And a few more bits from the blog about why the accessibility of it makes a smart decision. Now Xbox are doing it. It's the gravitas that it comes with. And again, no disrespect to Stadia. We've done 142 episodes of a podcast about them, so we're definitely fans. And I just want to be clear, like you and me I've never owned an Xbox. So if it sounds like we're being overly positive on Microsoft, it's because they're making the right consumer moves.
They're making the same moves that Stadia have been trying to make, but it's Xbox rather than Stadia, and they are objectively significantly more important to the gaming industry.
Yeah. I had a discussion with my boss this week because I've been at our annual conference and we deal with a lot of stuff to do with partner programs with these tech brands. And even within the circles I work in, they refer to gaming as, they say Xbox. They say like, oh, and you get the Xbox. I'm like, they should be saying game console in that particular sentence, but they use the word Xbox synonymously as gaming. And it's like, that's the brand awareness you would never get.
I'm a little... I don't really have that because I'm a little surprised because like Sony are a thing, Nintendo a thing, and these are not like niche
again,
companies.
But the people who I work with aren't necessarily gamers.
The
They're just business people. So it's that general consensus without real... That's the marketing. But reading from how this works, so Samsung, obviously huge, one of the biggest market shares in TVs out there on the planet. Yeah. It's a great partnership. It says how it works. Play seamlessly on a Samsung TV 2022 models and above. Simply launch the app, connect your controller, and start playing. Access the Xbox app from the Samsung Gaming Hub, which Samsung announced last year. Was that CES this year, maybe? Its Gaming Hub is going to be the feature where everything is going to be. Funnily enough, Stadia is on the advert for it because it's in the Gaming Hub already. If you're a Game Pass Ultimate member, you'll have access to hundreds of cloud-enabled games, and it's the bits like this. Or you can check out Fortnite without a membership. Fortnite through it's big, world-renowned games that millions of players are accessing, but now it's powered by Microsoft. That's huge.
Yeah. For cloud gaming in general, this is massive. I was thinking like a weird, terrible analogies. Stadia have like kind of tracked a path through the forest, and Microsoft are putting down a bloody motorway over it.
Yeah. Brumph.
It's like,
ready to go.
We see what you're doing there. We'll do it too, but it's not even they're doing it in a bigger way. It's just they are a bigger element of the gaming industry doing what these moves are basically what Stadia have already done.
Yeah, they're just able to do it on
Game Pass, the actual Game Pass subscription side, that's very unique to Microsoft. But
yeah. And you know what? There's no surprise there because we said Stadia isn't even 3 years old yet. Microsoft has been around for 2+ decades at this point. They have the heft that Google realistically have, but they've also got the industry knowledge and experience and legacy that comes with that. So again,
the studios have been buying.
I mean, yeah, they own half the industry as well in terms of development. They've got exclusive titles. They've got that goodwill. And there's nothing to say in 10 years' time, Google and Amazon and all those aren't going to be on a similar footing. But as it stands today, I think Xbox trailblazing this is huge. Because let's face it, PlayStation and Sony don't do a great deal in terms of cloud gaming yet. They're embracing it a bit more with the new PlayStation Plus rollout and memberships and legacy games like PlayStation 1 and PSP Classics coming to streaming. And whatever the hell's going on with the PS3 architecture that they can't seem to figure out, it's definitely going to push games to it. But we're not getting PS5 games in the cloud yet. They've confirmed that. So
with PlayStation, it is the PlayStation Plus premium tier that gives you access to cloud gaming. So the essential and extra tiers don't. The Deluxe tier is basically the premium tier for markets that cloud streaming isn't available.
But then again, to kind of condense all that down, Richie, Microsoft, $1 for Game Pass to trial it, and your Samsung TV you already own. You're in.
Yeah.
But PlayStation, it's the premium tier. You need a console or a PC for some games. Nintendo, who knows what they're doing when it comes to they've got their cloud specific, but there's no way you're playing that through an external link. Stadia and Luna are doing their own thing. But it's crazy to think just how Microsoft are. They really are the front runners when it comes to overall cloud gaming. Not quality, overall on all fronts. Marketing, branding, game titles, accessibility. It's crazy.
So Game Pass Ultimate, which is, I believe, the one you need to get cloud gaming, is $10.99 a month.
Yeah.
And that also gives you Xbox. It gives you everything Xbox Gold. It gives you EA Play.
PC.
It's all the Microsoft stuff. Anything else that they're throwing there, it's just fun. It's such a good consumer move. It's one of them like they're redefining how people are going to interact with the gaming industry. Cloud gaming. I think Microsoft see it absolutely as the future of the industry, and are really pushing that hard.
There's a little caveat to that as well. They also confirmed this week in the same Verge article that they're also looking at bringing game demos to Game Pass soon. So in terms of like accessibility new titles, I could see a point on your Samsung TV screen or through a web link on the internet that you can trial video games through cloud gaming as well. Which again, we said in this week's Sounds of Stadia podcast, episode 142. You should go check it out now. Everything to do with demos being a big part of like click to play. You click a link, you try the game out, you play it for an hour without waiting 40 minutes for download, and if you enjoy it, subscribe or pay your fee, and you get the whole thing just opened up there and then to you without a 40 gig download or a 50 gig patch or whatever it may look like.
Yeah, the thing is, the more we're talking, the more tempted I am to just get a Game Pass Ultimate subscription.
Oh, imagine when it's on your TV.
I mean, mine's an old TV, but so it's not going to be anytime soon. I think I'm waiting for the dongle. I think when the dongle comes out, I'd expect a dongle controller bundle.
Right.
If not, you buy them separately. It's not the end of the world. And I think that's when I'll finally go. You know what? I'm going to get into Game Pass because even if for a lot of like third party titles, there's a lot coming to Game Pass. So it just
Well, Richie, through accessibility, you can connect your favourite Bluetooth controllers up to these TVs. A DualSense controller will work with this. So if you get a new TV, I know you've mentioned a few times, you're looking at a new TV.
I mean, I need some money first.
That's true. Don't forget to hit join below to join our Helix Hero.
We don't take any money out. Like, we'd have to be earning a lot more money for me expense when a new TV.
That's true. But I think in total, just Microsoft are making great moves that I hope everybody else follows suit. And I know some are doing it, but they need to do it better to keep up with Microsoft and Xbox at this stage.
Yeah, and to close out this episode, I just want to touch into an article from gamesindustry.biz. The Ofcom have reported that 58% of UK players subscribe to a game service. PlayStation Plus is still out ahead, but Game Pass is seemingly catching up quick. And I think these sort of new moves and the fact that like adding cloud gaming, adding like native apps to TVs, I think that might push. I think I can see Game Pass by the end of maybe next year, outstripping PlayStation Plus as the most popular paid-for service.
Yeah, it's quite impressive to think how many PS4s to Xbox Ones there were behind. Yeah. And then it's obviously not like for like, but the Game Pass subscribers, I think Microsoft are very well aware that PlayStation are beating them on the sales front for physical hardware. However, the benefit of this subscription model and then cloud gaming, I could see Game Pass being people's like secondary. Like, yes, I have a PS5, but I play all the Xbox stuff through the cloud or through my TV stick, and I just pay the $9.99 fees. Whereas with PlayStation, I have to pay £70 to play God of War. Like how much The Last of Us Part 1 remake special edition is £100. So not everyone has that kind of money, especially in today's world. So yes, you know what? I'll save my money for those big purchases. However, Game Pass is a tenner a month practically, and now I can play it on my TV without needing the console. So I could see people having both, similar to you and me have like our Nintendo Switch as our third, I think our extra thing.
I think the way I can see myself going, where I'll have PlayStation as my exclusive Sony games consoles, because you're not going to get them in the cloud. But then I'll have a dongle attached to my TV for xCloud, so I don't have to pay out for an Xbox. And then I just get best of both worlds.
Yep.
Like that's the dream, isn't it? Like the dream, I think, of all gamers is to be able to play whatever game you want, wherever the hell you want to play it.
Yeah. Which is the dream, right? It's the most accessible thing for everyone. And again, I'm not an Xbox owner of any kind. No. But the more we talk about, the more I do have a custom Elite Series controller because I didn't just want to buy a generic one to test Stadia on it, and then ironically I just used the Stadia controller. But it is, if you ask me what would you be doing in 5 years' time, I probably believe I just have multiple subscriptions and I'll play on multiple devices. Yeah. And you're right, as a gamer, that means I can play any game, anywhere, anytime. So that's cloud gaming in its whole, right?
Yeah, the numbers at the end of Q4 2021 in the UK for PlayStation Plus, going back to my earlier point, is 3.2 million. Game Pass is 2.6 million. So it's like 600,000 people behind.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's a lot with the way Game Pass is going.
No, not at all. It's just turning the screw on getting people away from it. Like the same as I said earlier in the show. You and me, very traditional gamers, but then the longer we've done this podcast and the longer we've been made aware of it, but we're kind of like tuned in with the industry because we report on it weekly. All of our friend group, in fact, probably not so much. We've got a lot of people who they play games, but they just kind of follow the trend of what's popular and what's going on. In 5 years' time, in 10 years' time, this will probably just be the norm. You have a subscription and you just play on whatever device is in the house without thinking twice about it. Yeah. And when you go out and buy a new TV, it's just standard practice that it comes with PlayStation Cloud, Xbox Cloud, Nintendo Cloud, Stadia, Amazon Luna. They're just all options, just like now, Netflix, Disney Plus, BBC iPlayer, Now TV. They're all just standard, but they weren't 5 years ago.
Yeah, and that's the future. To read some more numbers from this article, this game industry article. This is again based on the UK Ofcom report. Mobile phone or smartphone usage between ages 16 and 54 stayed around about a steady 50% of all people surveyed play games on their phone. It drops off of a cliff down to 28% in the 55 to 64 bracket, but
no surprise.
Console players starting from 16 to 24 is 60%, 25 to 34, 55, dropping at 35 to 44, 41, then falls off a cliff down to the 20s and down 10s and stuff. Tablet holding steady around about the 15% mark, maybe peaking about 20 between across all age ranges. Going 65 plus, the 65 plus age bracket, 14% of people surveyed play on the tablet, and that was 802 people surveyed.
Yeah. So
it's really reasonably significant. So this is why I think it's important to be able to play games wherever, because there's a huge market on the phones. The phone and tablet market hold fairly steady, right up to people in the late 50s, even higher.
Yeah, and that's always going to change over time as well. As our generation gets older and we're more technologically tuned in with it, I can't imagine 67-year-old Chris isn't still using a tablet and a phone the same as I do now. But obviously now, if you're over 65 and plus, you probably aren't, like my grandparents don't use the mobile phone for anything other than calls. So it will change over time. And that's why cloud gaming being in such its infancy, but it's seeing such good results already, technology doesn't stand still. So yeah, I think when we look back in 5 years' time, Richie, and it's episode 400 and something of the Sounds of Stadia podcast, the landscape will look very, very differently. And we've said over and over again, if these companies just stick it out, they will bear fruit long term.
Yeah, I mean, people playing games directly on smart TV, so you think of how Stadia probably makes up some of this. Xbox Cloud Gaming will start making up some of this. But ages 16 to 44 averaged around about 7% of the people surveyed. It's small, but there is people in this age bracket, basically our age plus or minus 15 years, who are playing games directly on their smart TV.
Yeah.
So now if you add Xbox into the mix, I think in 5 years' time we might look at numbers similar to this, and where we're looking like 40 to 60% of console people playing on console. That might be down to about probably about 40 or 50%, and the smart TV might be up to like 20%, 30%.
Yeah.
As people just no longer have the use for this box under the TV.
Indeed, it's nice to have actual data.
Yeah.
For the first time, because I think we usually like theorize and think about it, but it's the crazy thing in the UK where this report's from. Amazon Luna still isn't available here. Remember?
Yeah.
Xbox is, but not on TV. There's no stick yet. There's basically Chromecast and Stadia are the front runners still in the UK.
Well, that's why I found this data quite interesting, because the only real cloud gaming platform of any significant note at the moment in the UK is probably Stadia. xCloud is I think it's about to become a huge thing. Sony are testing like they're testing the waters. Nintendo do the odd thing. But Stadia is the only platform where you'd say they're kind of synonymous with cloud gaming in the UK. Well, GeForce Now, but
yeah. But
I don't know
how
little this stuff.
Yeah, and how little marketing do they do in the UK? Like, I've not seen one promo for Stadia anywhere physically. So if they've got like a small chunk of the market now, it just, again, part of me thinks in the next few years, as the marketing ramps up and the people embrace the technology and it's like kind of VR. When that started off, everyone was like, oh yeah, the headset thing. And now it's just, you see marketing pushes for VR everywhere on billboards and TV adverts and YouTube ads and stuff, and you see them physically in stores. And yeah, it's exciting times, but I think to the kind of the title of the episode, Richie, is cloud gaming set to explode? I think 2022 is the year that all these big companies are embracing it, and I think as we head into the back end of this year, the start of next, it's really going to be kind of brought in full house with anything and everyone.
Yeah, again, going back to the start of the thing, is cloud gaming primed to explode? What do you think? Yes or no?
100% yes.
I completely agree. But that's all we have time for you this week. If you've liked the video, hit that like button and consider becoming a member for as little as 99p, where you can get early access to this very show. If you've got an idea for a topic you want us to discuss, let us know in the comments of the video, or head over our Discord server. The link is in the description below. Thank you very much for watching. My name's been Richie.
My name's Chris.
Quest completed.